How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So today I want to go over some of the latest news in regards to Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the future of Star Wars gaming in general. I'm sure you guys probably know by now that Lucasfilms Games is back, and now we're going to be getting a ton of future Star Wars content. But that was not the only thing that happened this week in regards to Star Wars news. As of yesterday, you could actually get Star Wars Battlefront 2 for absolutely free on the Epic Games Store. And with that, there has been an absolutely huge amount of new players coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2 because you can't beat free. So even people that were never even really that interested in the game to begin with are going out and grabbing this title because, I mean, free is free. And because there are so many new players going out and getting this game, EA Help was forced to put out a tweet. They said, seeing error message 623 or 918 in Star Wars Battlefront 2. They said, sit tight, we're on it. An incredible number of players have joined us during our Epic Games Store free week, and we're scaling up new servers to welcome you all to the Battlefront. So there were so many new players picking up the free version of Battlefront from the Epic Store that they actually had to go and add new servers to the game, which is absolutely nuts. Star Wars Battlefront 2 hasn't had support since last May, and the fact that they have to add new servers to make up for all these new players is really impressive. Now obviously with this game being free, we're going to see a huge influx of players coming to Battlefront, but the fact that they had to add new servers shows just how many of the old players are still playing the game as well. Now if this was any other game and the game was going to be free, odds are by this point in the game's lifespan, a lot of the original player base sort of moves on to other games, or the player base kind of dies off over time, and then that influx of new players coming to play the game for free wouldn't really put that much strain on the existing servers. But the fact that there's so many of the original player base still playing the game, plus all these new players, just overwhelmed the servers because there's just so many people trying to play this game, and that's just absolutely huge. Not to mention that this game is still popular on the consoles. On the Xbox and the PlayStation, you can still find matches all the time. Unless you're playing one of the unpopular modes, it's not really that hard to find a game. You can pretty much always get into a match of Galactic Assault or Capital Supremacy or Heroes vs. Villains. And it just really goes to show that EA really dropped the ball with this game. They really screwed up when it comes to ending support for Star Wars Battlefront 2. This right here is proof that players are still interested in this game. And I think there's a number of different factors. With the announcement of Lucasfilm Games coming back, there's obviously a lot of hype for Star Wars going forward, and there's not really any other multiplayer Star Wars games out right now. People are forced to play Star Wars Battlefront 2 because that's our only option. Other than Squadrons, and Squadrons player base is pretty much non-existent at this point because not that many people are interested in Starfighter games, so everybody's funneling into Star Wars Battlefront 2 because that's the only game that we have. And it still leaves such a bad taste in my mouth that EA just decided to up and leave Star Wars Battlefront 2 right when it was at its peak. They finally made a comeback for the game. They finally recovered from the loot box controversies. There was tons of content. It looked like things were going in the right direction, and then after the Scarif update, they just decided that was it. They weren't going to support it anymore. So hopefully this is a big red flag to whatever executives are working on Star Wars games right now. With a game that hasn't had support for over a half a year, to have so many new players come check it out that they had to add new servers, that should be a huge warning sign that, hey, we need to make a Star Wars Battlefront 3. People want to play this. Battlefront 2, even with its controversies, sold a lot of copies, so it would make absolutely no sense for them to not make a Star Wars Battlefront 3. And even if for some reason EA doesn't make a Battlefront 3, then hopefully with Star Wars expanding out to other developers out there, somebody out there is going to make some sort of multiplayer game. There are tons of possibilities for Star Wars multiplayer experiences. You could have a Republic Commando type game that plays like Siege, where you just play as different commandos, where you breach and clear different areas and stuff. They could do that. One option that I would love to see, since Ubisoft is getting involved, they could do a For Honor kind of game where you have just 1v1 or 2v2 lightsaber duels, where you have the option to choose different iconic Star Wars characters like Darth Vader, Mace Windu, Luke, Darth Maul, you name it, just tons of different characters from all of Star Wars. Put them in one game, give them different types of abilities, but make the combat really close to what For Honor was, where you actually have to time out blocking and parrying. That way it feels like an actual lightsaber kind of combat game, compared to what we got with Star Wars Battlefront 2, where it felt like two action figures were just bumping against each other over and over again. And there's already a part of the Battlefront community that likes to have 1v1 duels and Hero Showdown and stuff. And the fact that Hero Showdown and Heroes vs. Villains were some of the most popular modes in Battlefront 2 really shows that there's a lot of interest in that sort of thing. And if they're willing to make Star Wars Starfighter Assault its own game of squadrons, then I don't see why we can't have this sort of like 1v1 lightsaber duel as a multiplayer game as well. I think it would actually be a bit of a hit. But it really is a shame that EA left Battlefront 2 behind. I think Battlefront 2 really would have benefited from the Mandalorian. There was a bunch of different stuff they could have added. They could have added new heroes, new locations, new types of blasters. They could have added Mando himself. They could have had new skins for Boba Fett. There would have been a lot of hype for people to come and actually play Battlefront again if we continued to get that content. But regardless, it's always good news to see new players coming out and trying Star Wars games for the first time. I guess we'll just have to wait and see if this has any long-term effects on if EA is going to make a Battlefront 3. I know I got my fingers crossed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. And that is going to do it for this video, guys. Be sure to follow me on Twitch at SwanyPlaysGames Live, and be sure to join the channel's Discord. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.